ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.
Log in to KofiPiesie.tv.com and get Spears of the Mossi Volume 1 by Kofi Piesie Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Piesie Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Piesie Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Herit, Shawn, Khalfani, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Piesie, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Herit, Shawn, Khalfani, As I Learn, We All Learn by Kofi Piesie. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPiesie.tv.com.
First, I want to say peace, 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 and Black African power. Welcome back to Kofi Piesie TV. We are at another edition of Warrior Scholars. My brother was on here. We have one of my sisters that we'll be interviewing today on Warrior Scholar. Dang, I'm trying to see what's the name at, but he's not in here. So let's go ahead and get the interview started. Family, please like and share the show. And before I bring our guests on for the interview, let's do what we do. Let me share my screen real quick. All right, share my screen. All right. Let me know. Dr. Oya Maat, is my screen sharing?
Yes. Can't see. Yes, okay. Brother, I see it.
All right. Again, like I said, welcome back to Warrior Scholars with our ninth guest, Dr. Oya Maat. Over here, as I learn, we all learn. You know, we follow that statement over here. We live by that statement. As I learn, we all learn. We must not let our ancestors down. And today's show, we always dedicate a show to and ancestors for the most part. So today we would like to dedicate this show to Wangara Mathia. This is an image of her with her medal and her award that she won. Also, go get your not your Mossi, but your Warrior Scholar shirt. And we always have to give a definition before we get started. What a warrior is and what a warrior scholar is. A warrior is from the old North French warrior, soldier, combative, one who wages war. From warrior, wages war. Warrior, a person who engaged experience in warfare. Broadly, a person engaged in some struggle or conflict. Scholar, a person who attends a school or studies under a teacher. Pupil, a person who has done advanced studies in a special field. A learned person, a holder of scholarship. Scholar, a person who studies the subject in great detail, especially at a university. This is my perspective of what a warrior scholar is. My meaning of a warrior scholar is someone who is well studied, waging war against mistruths, pseudoisms, and willing to stand on the battlefield against institutions and platforms that promotes that. A warrior scholar is someone who is on a mission for the truth, accurate and sound information. A warrior scholar is one who has this discipline, good character, morals, and willing to fight back against those who use information dangerously. T'Challa's perspective of what a warrior scholar is. A warrior scholar is one who embarks on a journey of self-mastery through rigorous physical training and the efforts to better one's state of being. A warrior is one who has embarked on a journey of self-mastery through conflict, hours of meditation, and an effort to learn as the art stillness of becoming harmonious with their environment and all existence. A warrior is a molded, guided, torn down, and built up so their people may live and continue to proliferate. Those who seek the path knows the invaluable gift of humility and knows that their place among hierarchy is their people. But what does a warrior has to do with a scholar? A scholar is one who embodies all of the concepts mentioned above with the focus geared toward scientific literacy and literacy as a whole. One must first be able to read and then develop superb reading comprehension skills in order to properly relay the message received through one's scholastic endeavors, proper demonstrated methodology, and any styles of discipline field studies on the way truly set the standard to combat the omnipresent misinformation. One who stays in their lane, humility, and does not portray themselves as a master swordsman and a specialized in a spear. So let me stop sharing my screen. Go back over here. All right. Before we get started, too, Brother Sutek, you got anything, man? I know you popped in here and then pop out. And family, please like and share the show, please. Please like and share the show.
Peace. Share I need peace to the chat. Peace to Sister Dr. Maat. Yeah, man, as y'all come in, man, like Kofi said, please like and share the show. This is gonna be a good one. There's somebody that a lot of y'all requested, so get your pad and your pen out. Maybe get your questions ready if you may possibly have some. Maybe Kofi can get to them. And peace. We appreciate y'all for coming through.
All right, Dr. Oya Maat. If for those that may not know who you is, can you introduce yourself? And after you introduce yourself, we always the first question we always ask people that come on Warrior Scholar is name some of their favorite warrior scholars.
Okay. All right. So my name is Dr. Oya Maat. That was the name that I named myself, but it wasn't until I had a trip or made my trip back home to the land of the Bamilekes in Cameroon, and I had an official naming ceremony on my birthday, February the 9th this year, my 40th birthday actually, this year, and received the name Maveu Diekgab N'goh, which means Queen Mother who studies, investigates, and travels the country in order to elevate her people. And so, Brother Kofi, I still use Dr. Maat because that's really what I branded myself, or who I branded myself to be. A warrior, born on a Monday, standing on Maat. And but my name, and I do plan on legally changing my name soon, but it's Maveu Diekgab N'goh. And so anyway, I was born and raised in Baltimore City. Well, born and raised in Baltimore County, actually. Born and raised in Baltimore County. My family lived in the city, so I was always in the city. Born and raised there. Matriculated through Baltimore County public school systems. Ended up going to Morgan State University and graduating with my BS in electrical engineering in 2003. And then I went back and eventually graduated with what we call a DEng in engineering. My passion, however, was always history. It was always Africana studies. The only reason why I didn't pursue Africana studies is because my mom, she's like, oh, no, you're good. You're really good with math. You're really good with science. So, won't you get into engineering? And so I said, okay, listening to my mom. But I really, Brother Kofi, wanted to be an Africana studies major. But my mom pushed me in the direction of engineering because I was good with math and science. And also because at that time, and even to today, STEM is what's happening here. All of the opportunities is in STEM. And so I'm grateful that she pushed me in the STEM field. And so I work now as a professor at the School of Engineering at Morgan State University. I'm looking to get on the tenure track, Brother Kofi, hopefully within the next year or two, because then I'll be able to develop master degree people and PhD people, but you only can do that if you're tenure track. So right now, I work as what they call a full-time lecturer. So I'm there full-time lecturing and teaching, but I want to get on the tenure track so that I could begin to research, bring money into the university, and also develop a PhD and again, master's degree students, just like my advisor developed me as a PhD student. And so I want to be able to do that. However, my passion is African-centered education. I'm a huge proponent of African-centered education. I think it's crazy that now we're having this conversation about equity in education or equality in education, but our African-centered elders and ancestors have been saying this, Brother Kofi, for a while, that our children need to be taught a curriculum that's anchored in their history, their culture, and their accomplishments. So, you know, our ancestors have been saying it forever. I mean, if you go back and read Miseducation of the Negro, right? I mean, we've been saying it forever. That was the reason why, you know, Negro Week and Black History Month was created, so that we can learn about ourselves. And so I've always been a huge proponent for African-centered education. And so I have actually, my family has developed a curriculum which we'll be able to offer the community probably in a few weeks. The community will have digital access to a system that you can actually go into and utilize it to homeschool your child in the area of history. So we haven't branched out yet to like math, science, and engineering. We'll get there. But right now, you'll be able to go in, log in, and you'll be able to access videos, lessons, assessments, student learning activities. There's over 157 activities. You'll be able to go online, get on a website, and you'll have access to all of that. And so I'm a huge proponent for African-centered education. My family in 2013, we started a company called EdAnime Productions, which is really the engine behind creating this curriculum. But EdAnime Productions is a Black family owned and operated company that produces educational content for children. However, we focus on our babies. Of course, our babies are our first priority, but we've created a project called Meltrek that is our flagship project or program that teaches children about our history, our culture, and our accomplishments. And so we have animated films, storybooks, activity books, and again, we're getting ready to roll out a curriculum. So that's me in a nutshell, Brother Kofi. I feel like I was a bit long-winded, and I hate talking about myself when someone it just, you know. So I just.
No, that's good. That's good. The curriculum. You mentioned the curriculum. That y'all finna roll out. Will it be something that the family will have to pay for?
Yes. They'll be able to. $100 for access. And I was told by educators that we're selling ourselves cheap, but the goal is not to capitalize off of the community, right? The goal is to say, okay, I put thousands of dollars into this system, I could get this back, right? And so it'll be $100 for access to the digital system.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm definitely gonna purchase it for my son. I'm definitely gonna get it for my son.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, your scholars name. You didn't go into some of your warrior scholars.
My warrior scholars. So my warrior. Okay, so one of my warrior scholars, I had to shout him out. I always shout him out whenever people say, "Well, how did you get into consciousness?" Baba Anthony Browder. Baba Browder, he was the one that actually woke me up, and so I always give him props for doing just that. Like he was the one that piqued my interest in studying about our history and our culture. I was 15, and I don't know if you've heard this story before, Brother Kofi, but I was 15, hanging out with my friends, talking like 1996. We're hanging out, we're downtown in Baltimore City, and we walked past this brother who was outside selling books, and he was trying to convince us to come on over to his table to purchase books. And so we did come over to the table, but we were 15 and books weren't valuable at that time. They weren't valuable to me. I just, look, I'm not spending my little money on these books. I probably didn't even have any money, Brother Kofi, to be honest, but I knew if I did have some at that point in my life, I wasn't purchasing books, right? And so when the group was getting ready to walk away, he said, he said, you, he said, come here. I walked back over to him. I'm like, yes, sir, you know, because he was a visibly older gentleman. So I walked back over to him. Yes, sir. He said, look, he said, just take this book. You can have it. You can have it for free. And the book was from the Browder File by Anthony Browder. That was the book that he gave me. And so I took it home. It sat on my dresser, you know, for a few months. And then I began to get curious about the cover because I see someone sitting there with, what is this stuff? And so then I started flipping through the book and I read about the cover, and then I started reading the table of contents. Then I read it. And as I was reading it, I'm telling my mom about it. Mom, I don't want any perm in my hair anymore. So I cut all the perm out of my hair. You know, she said, well, what are you going to do with your hair? I said, I'm going to dread it. Oh, no, don't dread it. So we had that little battle, but it was all because of Anthony T. Browder's work. So he, like, I guess if he was the catalyst, I would say the spark, you know, that made me want to learn more about myself and our, you know, our history and our culture. And next, I would say, and like I said, I gave that to him because he was like the catalyst, you know, the person who kind of removed the chain, removed the lock from my brain. But the next person I would say would be Dr. Amos Wilson. Dr. Amos Wilson, and I didn't get put on to Dr. Amos Wilson until probably about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. But Dr. Amos Wilson is definitely one of my favorite warrior scholars. I've read Blueprint for Black Power. I've read The Falsification of African Consciousness, and I've read The Developmental Psychology of the Black Child. And so he's the one that he just, oh my gosh, it was Dr. Amos Wilson. He explains what we must do, why things are the way they are. Like, I mean, he's so, methodical and articulate. He was so articulate and so meticulous. His work, he took his time. I mean, the brother is bad. Okay, so I would put him as one of my warrior scholars. I'm trying to think who else. I'm in my top. Whom I've read. Baba Baruti. Baba Mwalimu Baruti, who's still here with us, an elder that I hold in high regard. I have a number of his books behind me. He's a bad brother, not was, because you know he's a bad brother. And so shout out to brother Mwalimu Baruti. I have one of my other ones, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. I know you see me rocking the hoodie. So Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Nana Patricia Newton, Dr. Nana Patricia Newton. So some of the females, Dr. Wade Nobles. I'm trying to think who else. I think that's about it. If I had to think of like my top 5, you know, or top 6, I think I gave you all like 6 or 7. But those are the folks that I'd love to study their work. And I see my aunties in the building. Peace, auntie. I see her. She is in the building. Okay. So, yeah.
Peace, auntie. Peace.
And my son, Haki Customs, he's in the building.
Okay.
Peace, Haki.
That's the one that traveled with you all the time, right?
No, this is my eldest.
Oh, okay.
My eldest. Yeah, this is my eldest. And he was supposed to go with me to Cameroon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but his passport didn't come back on time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you kind of
hold on, brother Kofi. You said my favorite warriors. I didn't show my other favorite warriors also.
Okay.
Hold on, here we go. Hold on, look at this.
Yeah,
you gotta zoom in on this.
Yeah, got to zoom in.
So my other, look at this, Kofi Piesie research team. Yeah, okay, from spears to pens. So this is my other right here. I've neglected to show this, and my book club will be reading each of these books.
Oh,
you know, so I have. I don't think, brother Kofi. I have your materials here.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are my other. This is my. I had to add you all on my list of warrior scholars.
Okay, we definitely appreciate the support. And you kind of went into my other question. What was your first introduction into the conscious community? Well, let's just say, you kind of gave a brief summary of how you you kind of became aware through our good brother Anthony Browder. But what was like your introduction into the so-called conscious community / social media community? Because the first time I ever seen you were, I don't even think you was a member of the Amin Ra squad yet. You was on this when I used to watch Sanetta's TV. I got introduced to you through him. You was debating. I didn't see the debate, but you was debating. I don't know who you was debating. I don't know what you was debating, a Moorish brother. You was debating.
It was a Hebrew.
It was a Hebrew. Okay.
It's always a Hebrew.
So I think after the debate, you was on there and you was kind of talking and going through, what you debated about and etc. So that was my first introduction to Dr. who Dr. Maat was. I'm like, who was this sister? And that was my first introduction to you. But what was your first introduction into the conscious community?
So my first introduction into the conscious community was when I was 17. My father used to get his hair cut at a barbershop called Conscious Heads Barbershop in Baltimore, which was established by Brother Jabari. And oh my gosh, it was another brother. I'm sitting here looking at him right now. Sundiata. So Brother Jabari and Brother Sundiata, they had a barbershop here called Conscious Heads barbershop. And my father used to get his hair cut over there. And so he kept telling me about these brothers who were doing things. And see, so by that time, I've already been introduced, 15. Now I'm reading books by Naeem Akbar and Breaking the Chains of Psychological Slavery, Community of Self, Know Thyself. So I'm really in it. Now I'm reading Marcus Garvey. So by 17, I'm my auntie can bear witness. I'm talking to my family about all of this new information that I'm learning, and I'm battling ideologies and all kinds of stuff. And so by 17, my father said, I'm gonna introduce you to some brothers who were saying some of the same things you're saying to me. And so he introduced me to Brother Jabari. And so I met my father at the barbershop, and he introduced me to those brothers. And at the time, they had an organization. An organization still exists. It's called Reality Speaks. And they were telling me how they bring lecturers to Baltimore. And they brought in a lot of people. If you go on YouTube, type in Reality Speaks. If you go to their YouTube page, you'll see they brought in Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. They brought in Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I mean, they've been around since the 90s. And so all of those old lectures that we see of different scholars on YouTube, a lot of that material was taken from Reality Speaks. And so that was really my introduction into the conscious community. My father, I believe it was my father, or it may have been Jabari, introduced me to Baba Nati and Maba Tabia, and down at the owners of Everyone's Place. So I began getting connected with them. And so that was really, that's when I started getting connected to the conscious community in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. But the online conscious community came in, I want to say 2013, 2014, around that time. I was introduced, my little cousin, we call him Little Buddy. But Little Buddy is 6'4", 400 pounds. So we say Little Buddy, but if you see him, he is nothing little about him. So I call him my big little cousin. But he was, I was going through some things around that time, and he was coming over. He was right by my side to support me through those things, or that challenging time that I was going through in 2014. And he brought over a friend of his. We call him Kool-Aid. So Kool-Aid came over with Little Buddy, and he said, "Cuzzo, you got to watch this." At the time I had my TV plugged up to like my computer. He said, "Cuz, we got to put on Black News 102. And so I said, "Black News 102, what's that?" He said, "Cuz, I'm telling you." He said, "You know how you go on your rants and you start talking all this stuff?" And he said, them brothers, they be outside, they talking on different topics. They talking about God, the Bible, that stuff you like to talk about. I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, put it on." So Kool-Aid typed in Black News 102. He put it on. I sat there, Brother Kofi. I watched one discussion, and then I was hooked. I started watching Black News 102. I was watching Sanetta's discussions every day. I'm turning on Black News 102. I'm listening to the brothers go back and forth. And then they started, there were, Hebrews, of course, beefing with Brother Polite and them. And then you had Unk and all of that. And So one day I kept telling myself, I'm going to call in and challenge one of those Hebrew brothers. And so one day, I'm not even going to say his name because it seems like as soon as I say his name, he starts stalking me, and making a million videos about me. But it was one particular Hebrew Israelite that that he was on Sinet's platform, and I called in and I challenged him on some of the things that he was saying to the audience. And so after that, I got a call from Sinetta. He said, there's a brother named Courtney who would like to get your information. Is it okay if I give him your cell phone number? And I said, sure, sure. So Courtney ended up calling me and he said, I would like to say, I'm based in Atlanta. I would like to set up a debate between you and this Hebrew Israelite. And so I said, okay, cool, And so he said, before the debate, I do want to introduce you to another brother. And I said, who's that? And that was Brother Anka Cat. So he called me on a three-way, put me in touch with Brother Anka Cat. And Brother Anka Cat, to tell him, when I first met him, I thought he was very arrogant. When I met him, I told him that. I said, I thought you was very arrogant. He started laughing. But he came off to me a very arrogant guy. But but anyway, Courtney connected us and we clicked. We started. I was telling him about the debate and the information that I had. He was telling me, putting me on with different things. Hey, did you see this? Or he was sending me certain things. Did you see this? And oh no, brother. Okay, I got this. Okay. And then I'm sending him stuff. Well, this is what I was preparing to talk about. What do you think about this? And so we were communicating as I was preparing for this debate. And then I believe in June of 2014, my family and I, we just rented a van. We all got in the van. We went down to Atlanta. We hooked up with Ankh, went got a bite to eat with him. And then the next day we had the debate. And I tore him up, though. I'm not going to lie, Brother Kofi. It was bad. I got a standing ovation at the end. I mean, I'm talking about Hebrew Israelite people were standing up like at the end of the debate because his information, it was just flawed, as you can imagine. You see who I was up against. So you can imagine the rhetoric that he was spilling or talking. And so anyway, so that was that. And so that was my introduction into the conscious community and Sinetta and meeting Ankh. And Ankh said, I'm putting you on the Armor Raw squad. And he said, now, usually we have a process, he said, where, the team and everybody, he said, he said, sister, he said, you bad. I want you on there. And so he just put me on. He put me on.
And you went right into my next question because that was my thing. I was gonna ask you, how did you meet Unk? So you right on it. You okay. Right on it. Yeah, you right on it, man. And shout out to Brother Unk, man. That's my brother, man. I love Brother Unk, man. And that same thing at one time too. It was crazy. You said you told him you think he was very arrogant. Me and I had when I first come in, kind of like a similar situation, 2013, I got introduced to Sinetta and I started watching it like religiously, like every day. Like I said, that's how I got, knew who you were through Sinetta. And then I something he had went to in Atlanta where I seen Unk. Then I started seeing Unk pop up everywhere. And people in the session, I'm a part of the session, my Mathematician group as well. And they can verify Damo in here, and he can verify, that I didn't like Unk at first. Like, when I told him after I joined the Mossi Warrior Clan, what I'm saying, when we was on the phone, some had went down and we had got on the phone and we was talking, and and I was just telling him, and I thought he was just very arrogant at that point, man. But once I got to know who Unk is, man, like I said, man, Unk close, man, ain't nothing I wouldn't do for Brother Unk. And and Brother Unk, whether people know it or not, brung a lot of people together, man. And I'm taking a piece of his formula, what I'm saying, like with these groups, all these groups are extension from the Amun-Ra squad, extension from Unk and his friendships with other people, studying him and understanding that, you have to surround yourself around people that is smarter than you. Then you have to build a team, and then it's not always about you. It's about the next generation coming before
Facts.
you. So
that's right.
So man, then that's one reason why as I learned, we all learn. Sharing information with others deepen your own knowledge. My book, I the book is dedicated to Brother Unk, man, because I like what he's doing, man. I mean, he's not a selfish individual. He doesn't mind, giving people their roses while while they're here. He doesn't mind encouraging people. He doesn't mind helping people. So, shout out to Brother Unk. My next question would be, you kind of talked about anime production, but can you kind of walk us through what inspired you to come up with the company? You know what I'm saying? And what was the initial work that you had to put in? Because I mean, you definitely had to put in some money. You definitely had to put in, time and hours to create this product and then put this product out to the people. So for people that may not know what anime production really is and what it took for you to make it, can you kind of explain to us?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. So in 2013, and that's actually when my challenges began, not in 2014. I was saying that's when I got introduced to the conscious community, but the things I was going through, it actually started in 2013. So Dr. Maat was sitting idle in 2013. And so I had nothing but time to observe. When you're sitting still, when you sat down and you're sitting still, Brother Kofi, you have nothing but time to observe. And so I was sitting there and I was observing. At the time, he was 3. He's now 11, Jalen. And he was sitting there and I was watching him and all of the different things that he was into and the shows that he liked to watch. I said, he needs to be watching something that is educational, entertaining, and that has some cultural significance, right? Something that's significant to his culture, or relevant to his culture. And so I started looking up shows. My family, we're looking up shows for him to watch. And the only thing we found, Brother Kofi, was Tell Me Who I Am. Shout out to Kid Positive, Baba Daryl Grayson. And they just, by the way, they remastered it. I think it's digitally mastered or something like that. But he produced Tell Me Who I Am, which was an animation that taught children about Mali, Timbuktu, and Janae Gaio. Throughout the film, children are learning about historical figures who look like them and going to Africa. They're using the word Hotep. And so I said, this is the type of stuff I would like for him to watch. And so he watched it. And then we started looking for other things. And of course, we found a plethora of books. There are a lot of children's books on the market, but there just wasn't a lot of animated films on the market that focused on our history, our culture, and our achievements. And so I had brought the younger generations together, my cousins and my sons, and I said, yo, we could do this. We could produce our own animation. And so, Brother Kofi, they looked at me like I had 2 heads. They said, oh, animate, you're an engineer, and you saying you want to produce a cartoon? And I said, look, if I could figure out electrical engineering and calculus, I could figure out how to put this cartoon series together. They're like, are you serious? So I said, okay. So we all decided that we would do it. And then I said, well, what are we going to call, the company and the product? So I started thinking about it. And I had came up with the 2 names, and they said that they liked both of the names. I came up with EdAnime Productions. EdAnime was short for educational animation, not anime as in the Japanese anime and all of that, but animation. And then Meltrek. Mel is short for melanin. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about you, melanin, but Mel is short for melanin. Trek means journey. So we're taking you on a journey to understand the history, culture, and achievements of melanated people. So the team said, oh, great. That's what you want to call them. Great. We love you. We love it. And so in the top of 2014, we began looking for cartoonists to draw the character. So we kind of did a rough sketch. My cousin, little buddy, he kind of rough sketched it, and we kind of came up with the personalities of these characters, but we needed a cartoonist. And so I took little buddy's sketches I shopped it around to different cartoonists. Hey, can you draw this character? And so the first cartoonist, he was okay. And so I ended up taking his work to another cartoonist. Shout out to brother Harvey Kahn. So I took it to brother Harvey Kahn, and he's on Facebook, by the way. He does beautiful artwork. But I took it over there to him. Brother Harvey Kahn, look, brother, we had these characters. This looks a little crude, if you will. We need you to touch this up. And so he took it and he polished them up. And these are the characters that you see today. Okay. A brother, brother Harvey Kahn. And and then after that, we developed a script. We wanted to develop a script. So we knew what the characters looked like. We described their personalities. So after that, we said, okay, we're going to develop a script. And then after we developed the script, we needed a cartoonist that focused on storyboarding so we could actually see the angles and the different things. And so we produced a storyboard. After we produced the storyboard, we shopped for animators. So we produced everything up until the animation part, because I do not know how to use the animation software like Adobe Flash and all of that. I don't even care to learn how to use it. And so we found a group of animators that were willing to animate the storyboard. And so we were able to release Meltrek episode 1, Exploring Ancient Africa, by the fall of 2014. So we released that. And then in 2017, we released our follow-up film, Meltrek Exploring the Pre-Columbian Americas. A lot of people thought that we were pushing that we were the Olmecs were African and all of that. Please go watch the film and don't listen to the hype, because we weren't pushing that. Now, we did suggest that there may have been an African, and we used our language very carefully, that there may have been an African presence in America before Columbus, but we used words like possible. This is what some historians believe. So that was the language that was used. We never said they was definitely here and we have the evidence. And we never, ever claimed that the Olmecs, Mayans, Aztecs, and even the mound builders and Incas, we never said these were African people, and we didn't depict them as such. We depicted them as brown and dark people, which they were, but we never claimed that they were sub-Saharan African people. So I want to lay that rumor to rest. But then after we produced the films, we started getting calls from, parents, Brother Kofi, around the world. Parents in the UK, parents in Canada, people in Australia. Oh, we love your film. We love your film. But sister, you all are disseminating a lot of information at a rapid pace. And I would like for my child to really to understand the material, and I want them to remember it. I want them to understand it. Do you all have any type of supplementary materials? And so then I said, well, oh, look at my brother Shawn P. Shout out to brother Shawn P. I see him in the chat. He gave me some flowers, but anyway, some roses. But so so parents started asking for supplementary materials. And so I went to my family. I said, look, we need to produce, some books, maybe some activity books. So the family started producing them. I had nothing to do with the activity books. That's all, like I said, other family members producing activity books. Isaiah wrote, a storybook. I did help him out with that, but he wrote a storybook. And we were able to offer those products to the community. And now I have a person in my family. Shout out to my cousin, Leticia. She is producing. She's an educational specialist, our educational specialist, and she produced created the Meltrek curriculum. I kind of told her what I wanted, and we developed it together. And so I just want to salute her and thank her for all of her hard work. But we are able to offer this curriculum to the people because of her. But this is, as you can see, Brother Kofi, a family affair. I don't take all of the credit for producing, the company and the products. It was really a family. This is a family affair. My aunt, who's in the chat, she'll tell you that her and my mom, they're down at the church, Brother Kofi, pushing the products and promoting the products. And so this is really a family affair. So a family project.
And you see with all of that, like people see, and I wanted you to highlight that because people just see the finished product. People never see what goes into creating these products for the people. So it takes a lot of time. You have to put in a lot of time, a lot of hours. You have to be disciplined on certain things. You have to sacrifice, certain things, when you're trying to produce stuff, what I'm saying? and or create stuff, to help, the people out and even help your family out in general, man. It takes a lot of time, and a lot of people don't understand that when you're trying to create something, it definitely takes a lot of time and sacrifice and discipline, to put something out. We definitely can attest to that, man. We working, we still working. So I'm telling you, we got a couple of more big announcements to come pretty soon. One big venture thing that we're going to be doing. I'm not going to give it all away, but we got a company. We have a company that's coming that's definitely going to be able to help the people out, and the rollout is coming out real soon with this new company that we're starting. And then we got new publications coming, and we got a whole bunch of stuff coming. Game boards. We just got a lot of stuff. But
and I also want to take some time out to also salute everyone who donated to the project. Since people donated to Meltrek, people still are donating to Meltrek. And then also shout out to my Morgan State alumni. There were several alumni who gave us the money, and I'm not talking about like $200. Gave out, a couple thousand. Here's 1,000. Here's 2,000. Here's 4,000 towards what you guys are doing. And so I definitely want to acknowledge my MSU family, and also all of the people like people like Sister Kaba, who just donated last week, and so people who donated to the project. So I just kind of wanted to mention that as well.
Are you still doing the bundle pack? Because I know when I bought a couple of years ago, I bought the bundle pack for my son. And I'm definitely gonna have to get. I'm definitely today or tomorrow gonna have to get another one, because I want to give it to my stepdaughter. My son got the coloring books, both videos that you put out. He loved both of them. He loved both of them, by the way. But he got it at his house, and I want my stepdaughter to actually have it and look at it, because she never looked at it before. So I want.
Oh yeah, we have it. We still have it.
Okay, yeah,
we still have it.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get in now. Let's talk about your trips to Africa. You took two pilgrimage to Africa. You took one of your trips. Let's talk about your trip to Ghana, and then we'll talk about your recent trip that you made to Cameroon. But let's talk. Let's talk about the Ghana trip. What was the motivation behind going to Ghana?
Well, I always wanted to go to Africa. I always wanted to go home, but I don't like being on planes for a long period of time, and so it was like, oh, I want to go, but I don't think I could be on a plane for 10 hours, one leg, another 10 hours, or 6. I don't want to, didn't want the hassle. So I sat back. I'm online. I'm connected with brother Blak Panther, his wife, sister Alima. They're going to Africa. They're traveling to Kemet. They're traveling to Senegal and Gambia and South Africa. And I was like, I'm going to go. And Sister Alima kept saying, just go. You could go. It's not that bad. The plane ride isn't that bad. Just go. And so she's saying, just go. And then you had people like Anthony T. Browder. Each year he was running trips to Kemet. Peace be upon her soul, Nana, Dr. Patricia Newton. She was running trips to Kemet and Ghana. Then you had Ashwell Kwesi and his wife. They were going, to Kemet. And so I just, between all of these different people and watching them, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go. So brother Unk at the time, he connected me with a brother. His name is Brother Babani. He has an organization called Africa for the Africans. And Africa for the Africans. And so Brother Unk connected me with Brother Bamani years ago when I had expressed interest in going to Africa. And so I kept telling Brother Bamani, one day, I'm telling you, brother, I'm coming with you. One day I'm coming with you. He said, okay, sister, okay. And I made up my mind in 2018 that I would be, I called him up. I made up my mind in 2018 that I would take the trip. And so I ended up contacting Brother Bamani and saying, Brother Bamani, I'm ready. When is your next trip? He said, well, sister, we're leaving May 2019 if you want to come. And I said, well, I do want to come, but I want to bring my children. And then he would, I said, is it any type of I don't like to haggle people's prices, but if it's multiple, I want to see if I can bring them, if I can even afford to bring them. So if you bring more than 2 people, is it, do you get some sort of discount if more people come? And he said, well, yeah, I'll look out, I'll help you out, if you want to bring, your children with you. So I was able at that time I could only afford to bring one of them with me. And so that was Isaiah. I ended up grabbing him and we went on over to Ghana. I think we left at the end of May and returned around the second week of June. And Brother Kofi, when I say that was really an eye-opening experience for me, like it's one thing to read about Africa and to, and to read about the culture, but it's another thing to go over there and actually what I call drink the culture, right? It's like, it was an opportunity to actually drink it and to also verify some things that, you've been reading. You're like, oh, okay, so the Lima castles aren't just some pictures I see on the internet and articles. I'm in here touching the castle, that I've been reading about and touching Cape Coast, and looking at, literally at the burial grounds of Kwame Nkrumah, pouring libations. It was just beautiful, going to the house of W.E.B. Du Bois, they turned it into like this museum. And I'm looking at like his library. I thought my 2 libraries were, this man had books all over the place, but going to see him and he's buried is like a little, I don't want a little grave, but there's a building next to his home. That's what he's buried in. And so being able to be right there, it was very, very touching, very touching. I can't even describe in words, Brother Kofi, what I felt while I was there. It was just like, I'm sitting over here just getting emotional now. I cried a lot. Yeah, I cried a whole lot, especially when I got into the dungeons. Cried a whole lot. I felt their presence. I don't want to sound spooky because I'll say, oh, here she goes. She said, sounding spooky. But I could feel it. I could feel it. I'm telling you. And we went to different restaurants while we were there. The people were beautiful. The people were absolutely beautiful. Very humble people, very giving people, very welcoming people. Now, they did try to sell us stuff because as soon as you open your mouth, they know you're not from there. They know you're an American. And so they think you got money, right? Sister. And so they will they're very aggressive, I'll say, in trying to sell you stuff. But I had a ball. And I do plan on going back. My aunt, I know she's in the chat. Auntie, let them know we go in 2022. The family is getting up out of here. And you'll be seeing a picture, Brother Kofi, with like 15 of us posing, in Ghana. And we'll be going to Cameroon as a family as well. So that's in the works.
Y'all gave away a bunch of your DVDs while you was down there in Ghana as well. Did you go to a school?
Yes.
Man, yes. You mentioned crying and feeling us. I wasn't there, but when I looked at the video, just the feeling that came over my heart, you know what I'm saying? I had got watery. I had got, teary-eyed, when you and your son was in there and in the classroom and y'all played the video and y'all was giving out the DVDs to people who was paying attention and listening, and you was asking what was the name of this character, what was the name of this character. Man, I'm telling you, I know if when I go, I'm probably gonna have to take two big old bundles of tissue with me because I'm probably gonna be crying everywhere. Because that's definitely one place that I want to go, because on the side of my mother's side of the family, they migrated from Uganda into Ghana, and they've been there ever since. And then my father's side migrated from Kenya into Nigeria. So those are some of the places. They're not going to be the first places I go, because the first place I'm going to go, hopefully, on my birthday of this year, I'm going to go to Gambia, and I'm going to Gambia because of the relationship that I have with Fatou Sangay, who is the founder and the CEO of the Gay and Journal Skills Academy. So she has 4 schools in Gambia. We have a Kofi Piesie Research Team scholarship where we're funding a student to go to school, and hopefully this year we'll be able to fund more with the scholarship. And we also have our Volume 1 and our Volume 2 in their libraries in their school. So I'm definitely that's my first trip to get down there and connect with them, and then I'll go to Ghana, and then, you know, try to do the Nigeria thing. So hopefully, if everything work out, I'll be down there in July.
Beautiful. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I didn't even mention that we went to different schools while we were there.
Yeah.
We went to like a school in Accra. We went to another school in Cape Coast. And then we went to another, I think it was like 2 schools in Accra and then 1 school in Cape Coast. And it was beautiful. Those babies, I'm telling you, Brother Kofi, they're so helpful and so respectful and so affectionate. They come up to you, they hug you. You know, they're waving, hi. You know, it was just beautiful. I mean, I'm telling you, our babies are so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I said she got me in here about to start crying. But let's talk about your recent trip. You went to Cameroon. You say you went back home to Cameroon.
Yes.
So you are part of, and excuse me if I mispronounced the name, is the Bamileke, right?
Yes.
The Bamileke people. Okay. Can you kind of talk about that trip? And I got like a few questions that I want to ask to dealing with, because I'm familiar with the Bamileke people, and I actually have some of their rituals that they did in my up and coming book, Beautiful Lessons in Kimoyo, that's coming out pretty soon. But yes, can you talk about that trip and how you feel once you got amongst your people, and you know, how did they receive you when you got there?
Oh my goodness. It was so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my 40th. And it didn't click until December. Initially, I was going to Kemet. I wanted to go to Kemet. I called Baba Browder. I said, Baba, I'm going to Kemet. Are you going to be in Kemet anytime soon? He said, no, dear. He said, I'm not going to be there around the time that you want to go. He said, but what I will do is connect you with my people so that they could take care of you if you decide to go. So I said, okay. But in December, I'm telling you, something hit me, Brother Kofi. I said, I'm going home. Go home. Go to Cameroon. So that was like late December. So I ended up calling Prince Delayor, and I was connected with him through one of my Baltimore brothers, Brother Nechanev. He connected me with Prince Delayor. He actually gave me his number like 2 or 3 years ago. He gave me his number, but I never called the Prince, and never called Prince Delayor. And so I ended up calling him, I want to say that towards the end of December, around Kwanzaa time, or it may have been after Kwanzaa, but I remember calling him up on the phone, and I said, he answered, and he said, hello. I said, hi, Prince Delayor. And I told him who I am and what I want to do and what I'm looking to do. And he said, well, you know, sister, he said, the crazy part is, he said, one, I don't answer my telephone when I see numbers that aren't stored in my phone. So he said, but something told me to answer the call. So I answered the call. And he said, and secondly, he said, I'm going to Cameroon around the 9th or 10th of January. And I planned on staying until the 9th or 10th of February. But since you're saying that you're coming and you're not coming until the end of January, what I'll do is postpone my departure date so that I can be with you the entire time that you're in Cameroon. So everything, Brother Kofi, just aligned. I mean, it was like I called him, he answered, he postponed his trip. And when I say that he took my son and I around to these, I mean, we went to several cities while we were there. He was with us every step of the way. He was a wonderful host. I mean, the people received me very well, Brother Kofi. I mean, they were just very, very, very warm. I mean, every house we went to, they wanted to feed us. Are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? Do you, so that's, and I know Brother Asar talks about that and Where's the Love, right? When he traces the word love, the etymology of love, and it traced back to, I believe it was Africa, and it meant to feed or something like that. So, and we brought that with us. And I know I don't have to teach you, Brother Kofi. We brought that with us and, to the South and to different places we get. You come into someone's home, can I feed you? Are you hungry? Do you want something to drink? That's the way we love. And so when I was there, that's exactly what was happening. We were going to different places. People just want to feed you. They want you to be comfortable. They were just extremely, very, very friendly people. But anyway, they received me very well. The king, I have his number in my phone. I can call him up on WhatsApp and say, hey, Baba. He said, hey, daughter. The king received me very well. He was the one that gave me my name, Maveu Diekgab N'goh. And well, they did divination to get the name, and they pronounced the name Maveu Diekgab N'goh. But we saw a lot of things. I was disappointed that I didn't get to go to Bimbia slave port, because that's where a lot of Bamileke people, they said at one point 160 boats left from there and went to the Carolinas and Mississippi and Alabama. A lot of people from Bamileke and Takar, they left from Bimbia, the slave port that was there. And so more than likely my ancestor could have left there. I don't know. But I was disappointed that I didn't get an opportunity to go there, because I did want to go over there and pour libations and pray and see, just kind of feel it, but I know that they're having like some sort of war going on in Cameroon. So there's certain parts you can't go to right now because the government's fighting with like the rebels. And so the prince said it wouldn't be safe. But when my family and I return back, we'll all go to Bimbia Port together. But we did the same thing. We toured. We went to an orphanage while we were there. It's an orphanage that the prince has a relationship with them. He donates a lot to them. And so he took us there and we gave away, food, candy, bread, water while we were there, had a good time with the children. And we also visited 3 schools while we were in Cameroon and gave away like Meltrack posters and stuff like that, and talked to the children about just loving, just being confident in self and loving being African. And just telling them, just love your natural African selves. You don't have to emulate these Europeans. You don't have to. So, I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing just going to these different schools. We also saw some of their defining landscapes, like the waterfalls, while we were there. I had an opportunity to go to the capital, Yaoundé. Is Yaoundé? Yes, Yaoundé is the capital, I believe. We went there and we went to the National Museum while we were there and learned a whole lot about the Cameroonian history of Cameroon. We went to Fuban, which is where I saw a lot of the Islamic influence there. It kind of reminded me of like old pictures of Mali, the buildings, the architecture over there in Fuban. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't know if it's Fuban or Fubang. But we went there and I saw a lot of women like dressed like Muslims. And so you could kind of see, the Islamic or Arabic influence in that particular region. But when we flew into Douala, I do want to say this, brother Kofi, when we flew into Douala, which is like the French speaking part of Cameroon, I didn't feel like I was home. I don't know. I felt like, oh, I'm in Cameroon and oh, this is cool. But when I got to the west part of Cameroon, where they're over there speaking Majumba, and you start to look at the Bamileke old school architecture, I felt like I was at home. I can't explain it, but I felt like, oh my goodness, I'm really home. And then I had to go to see a Baba, I had to go get a divination done, and I sat with a Baba. I got my divination done. On the day of my naming ceremony, I was given a spiritual bath, and something was removed from me. I'm not going to talk about it on the show. It's very, very personal, but something was removed from me during that spiritual bath. I did a lot of crying during that spiritual bath. it was literally, I was like on an altar, like on a shrine. It was, all sorts of stuff. It was beautiful. Before my naming ceremony. And then the highlight of my trip was the naming ceremony. And I was happy that I was able to live stream it. I did look back on it and I see that the live stream was very choppy because of the Wi-Fi out there. But we did the best that we could. And I just wanted the community to see it, Brother Kofi, just to kind of experience this with me. And and that was the highlight of my trip.
I talk about that. Some of the ceremonies inside of the naming ceremony that is done throughout different ethnic groups in Africa. So I'm very familiar with some of the processes and steps that you went through. The hat. Now, were you able to keep the hat? No, because and it's a controversial. And did they describe the hat that you was wearing? Because the hat that you wearing is called the tie or the Tiny, if I'm saying it right, TYN. Now they described the hat as the Juju hat. Now did they the Bamileke people describe that as the juju hat. Now we know that juju is a derogatory term. It's a French word. You know what I'm saying? And you mentioned the French. You know, we know the French and the British was in Cameroon
Absolutely.
at one particular time. So did they describe the hat as the juju hat? And were you able to keep that beautiful
no,
hat?
They didn't describe it as a juju hat. They didn't describe it. But I didn't get to keep it. But I ended up buying one that looks like it. Okay. But I didn't get to keep it. They kept it.
Yeah.
They kept it.
Okay. Yeah, you see those, they use those hats around, you know, different ceremonies and festivals when you see those hats come
yes,
out.
I know you're talking about the one. It's like a
the
bunch
towel
of
with the feathers, right?
No, no, they didn't call it a juju hat, but they did tell me that it's worn when someone is being honored. This is what they put on their heads. Right. But I didn't ask them for the name.
Okay. The Bamileke people, did they describe themselves as the Bamileke people? Because the Bamileke people has about 30 different ethnic groups inside of it. And you see this with the Nuba people, you see this with the Sira people, and so forth.
Teach.
This, you know, this group. So they got about 30. And I may be off because it's been a while since I studied them.
No, you're right.
Okay.
Let me pull up my notes because I took some notes while I was there. And I think 30 is. I think you hit it on the nose. So let me pull up.
And the reason why I'm asking you, they describe themselves as the Bamileke people now, because you can see the reoccurrence, you know, throughout West Africa, throughout East Africa, where these groups of people, these ethnic groups, become this one group of people, but within this group you got these different ethnic groups, but they don't refer to themselves that these names are given to them by outsiders or colonist people, you know, giving them this name. And they're like the Nuba people. Like that's how I got introduced to the Bamileke people, because some of the similarities of the Bamileke people is the same with the Nuba people, and some of the same things happen with the Nuba people in East Africa. You know, the same with the Bamileke people. So I know, and I was reading something a while back, people, outsiders, they would describe themselves as the Bamileke people, but when they're amongst other ethnic groups, then they would say they was from this tribe, or I'm from this tribe. They didn't describe themselves as the
Bamileke. And you're right, it's 36. He says right here, the prince told me that at least he said 36 kingdoms among the Bamileke.
Okay. One more question about them. I was reading something and I wasn't sure about them, and you mentioned Islam. You know, you was at one part and you seen them wearing Islamic wear. I was, and I don't know, like I said, it's been a while back here, but I remember reading something about the Bamileke people. Did they mention that they left a certain place and ended up in Cameroon? And was this certain place, was it Egypt?
Yes, it was.
Okay, because I was reading. Because I was reading that they migrated, they ran away from Egypt because of Islam.
Yes.
And okay then, because I remember reading that, and I didn't know was that true or not, and I couldn't find it in it because I kept trying to find it anywhere else. So I was like, I'm not going to even say anything about these people because I'm not sure if this is true what I'm reading.
That's what they told me, that their ancestors came from Kemet. And I read the same thing. And like you said, I read the same thing, but like you said, you don't see it in a lot of sources. And so I didn't want to say, the Bamileke people, and not know, but that is what they say. And if you go to Yaoundé, which the National Museum in Yaoundé, they have an exhibit where they're honoring the people of Kemet, or I know you all call them the Remetch. They're honoring them and saying we're honoring them because these are our ancestors.
Wow.
Right in the museum.
Okay.
In the museum.
Okay. So you are my secondary source.
I'm your secondary source now. Yes, you could say yes. That's what the people said. They said they're from there. And I know that you said you mentioned the Bamileke people in your book on Kimoyo, right? So did you? Well, I mean, I know you're probably aware of it. That I was told that 65% of them subscribe to the cult of the ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about, okay, so 65%, that is, I don't know if that would be, I guess, their Kimoyo system, or yeah, it's called the cult of the ancestors, where there's no, it's the collective ancestors, I guess, would be considered the creator, but there's no like deity or main deity, or like in Ifa, you would say Oludumare, and then but with them, it's just the ancestors.
Right. And you're right. And one more week, because we at the hour mark, and I don't want to keep you. I want to read something out of here real quick. This is from my book, As I Learn, We All Learn. And it says, the first YouTube or social media platform I presented information on outside of my own was Dr. Oya Maat YouTube channel. Dr. Oya Maat. She saw me being consistent on my newly created YouTube channel and on my Facebook Live. She decided to extend an invitation to me to come on her channel, which was a bigger platform than mine. I remember being so excited. Hold on, let me see. I remember being so excited and appreciative for the invitation. We worked with each other a few more times that year, but I never got her on Kofi Piesie TV. But hopefully we can arrange that in the near future. I am humbly and thankful that Dr. Oya Maat gave me the opportunity to come on her platform because of the invite. Invited. Hold on, a platform because just the platform because just the invite let me know she saw me and wanted everyone else to see me too. And for that, my lovely big sister, I will forever be thankful and cannot wait to one day have you on our show.
Oh my goodness, Brother Kofi. That was so sweet. I remember you told me, you was like, I said something in here and I said, I'm gonna get it. Oh my goodness. That was so sweet. Thank you for that, Brother Kofi. But you did, Brother Kofi, I saw what you were doing. I was learning from you. I learned a whole lot watching your videos, watching the presentations, the information that you put out there. I mean, it was a lot. You talked about because of your presentation on African drumming. And I was able, when I was in a museum and I saw certain drums, I knew what I was looking at because of your presentations. You talked about marriage being the most important ritual in African culture. You talked about, you did a presentation on Winnie Mandela. You did presentations on the European holidays, the origins of Thanksgiving. I mean, Brother Kofi, I'm telling you, I learned so much. And so when I saw your presentations, I said, I gotta get him. I said, he has to come on here with me, because you were dropping presentations like in the 90s when they used to drop remember in the 90s they used to drop mixtapes, and you were dropping presentations like mixtapes, and so it's like, okay, so he's coming out with this, and so you just kept bringing it, and I said, I gotta have a build with this brother. And then when we built together, the energy was just beautiful. People said, I loved you all together. He fed off you, you fed off of him. They said it was just beautiful. And so I thank you for all of the hard work that you and your research team, the Mossi Warriors, what you all are doing, Brother Blak Panther. See, I have your stuff here, but I don't want to just have it. I need to go through it and read it. And that's why I said this year, volume one. Where's my volume one? Oh man, I had to get the other one because the volume one is white cover, right?
Yeah, the white cover.
Yeah, because I had volume 2 and 3 here, but I also had volume 1. Look over there, Brother Kofi. I'm looking. I know, bro. Volume 1 is around here, but oh, my mother's in the building. Peace and love, mommy. Peace and love, mom. But yeah, so I just thank you, Brother Kofi, for everything that you're doing. I thank you for having me on your platform. And as Baba Mku said it, he said, reciprocity is key. That is my aunt. Reciprocity is key. He said, continue to be the examples our communities need. Thank you so much, Baba. But thank you, Brother Kofi. So that was really touching. That was really touching. But I want to thank you and give you your flowers. for the work that you're putting in and for all of the things that you've taught me, because I've also learned from you a great deal. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And real quick, these cards, she's also in these cards. We have the educational cards out, and then we have to put a name on a face card, cards of Black scholars, Black teachers, Black revolutionaries, and Black visionaries. Most of the people in the cards are ancestors, but the 6 cards in the back are people that really affected my life in a positive way and was great role models, and examples for me. So she was one of those people in there who was in those cards. Again, the rest of most of the people in there are elders or already transitioned or ancestors. So let me find her card just to show. So here is Dr. Oya Maat card. So this is her card here. And people may not know, now they can go research and see who is Dr. Oya Maat is. So again, like I said, I just want to thank you for being the person that you are, the great role model, setting the right example, always exhibiting good character, showing me proper methodology, and just like I said, just doing what you do. And even on the creative side, I'm saying, you're very creative, and you inspire me and the rest of the group to be creative. And we're trying to create things that help our people, just like you and your company and your family has. So again, I greatly appreciate you. So if you got any last words for the people, and we're gonna end the show.
Now, how you going to end like that, Brother Kofi, and get me all emotional and then say, do you have any last words? I'm over here all emotional and you talking about, do you have any last words you like to say? But that was, I'm beyond honored, by your words, just by the putting me in your book, putting me on a card. Like I said, I'm beyond honored and humbled. And so again, Brother Kofi, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank the community. I thank everybody who's in the building. My mother's here. My auntie's here. My son is here. And then one of my favorite elders, Baba M. Cool. Baba M. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Baba Olatunji. I love my elders. I thank my elders. I just, Baba Baruti, Mama Ya Baruti. A lot of those warrior elders, they support me. I can call them up anytime. Baba James Smalls. I called him when my son and I flew into New York. And because our flight from Cameroon, one of them got delayed. And so we end up switching the our return flight. We ended up in New York instead of Washington, D.C. And I called Baba. I said, Baba, look, I'm in New York. I need to get to Baltimore. Oh, sister, let me call Brother Charles, and I'm going to get him to come pick you on up and take you home. And that's what happened, Brother Kofi. So he arranged for Brother Charles to come pick me up from the airport and drive us all the way to Baltimore, And so I just want to give thanks to my elders, and also praises to the ancestors. I want to thank everyone who supported Dr. Maat. I saw you all in the chat. Brother Shawn P. I saw a lot of the sisters, Sister Anusha, she's in the building. A lot of the sisters are in the building. So I thank everyone who came on today. And just to support me, to support Brother Kofi Piesie. And I want to say peace to the panel. I didn't get a chance to speak to Brother Sutek. And I didn't see the other brother who came in. Brother T'Challa and Brother Sutek. So I just want to say peace to you all, family. And then also make sure you stay connected. Yes, stay connected with me, family. Like I'm on Facebook. Okay. So you can connect with me there. I don't like to say follow me. Let's connect and let's build. I'm also on YouTube. If you type in Dr. Oya Maat, check out the Truth to Power talks. I've been bringing on different people to have different conversations about different things. Okay. And so in fact, tonight, Brother Kofi, at 7:00, and this is going out of my norm. I usually don't talk about stuff like this, but I felt the need to, that I know the situation with Derek Jackson and him exploiting Black women for money. And now Black women are upset. But tonight I'm going to hold Black women, accountable for creating Derek Jackson's, right? Because he wouldn't be able to exploit us if we didn't allow it. And so I'm going to talk to my sisters and brothers welcome to join in, the conversation as well. But I'll be addressing our sisters to talk about the importance of vetting people when they come before us. I don't care who the person is and what they purport to be. You have to vet people before you support them and give them your money. And so that's the whole conversation tonight. But I'm using the Derek Jackson thing to kind of have that conversation. And so anyway, I just want to thank everybody again. Please continue to support me. Please continue to support Kofi Piesie Research Team, Mossi Warriors, Armin Raw Squad, Pseudo Killers, Brother Anka Ket, Real Black Atheism. Please continue to support these channels. There's a lot of misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation out there. And these are the outlets that are combating this information. So it's important that we continue to support these people, these organizations, these platforms, so that we can continue functioning. Because like you said, creating these products it isn't cheap. I mean, these aren't cheap. It's not cheap stuff. Producing animations and games and programs and curriculum. This stuff isn't cheap. And so I always, tell my students, help me help you. And so I'm just saying to the people, help us help you, by supporting not only with your mouth, but with your resources. And so with that said, a BB Fahode, a BB to me.
All right. Again, appreciate everybody for tuning in. I want to say peace and Black African power. We'll see y'all sometime this week, I guess. If not this week,
man, Kofi, you wasn't even gonna let me speak.
Well, go ahead, because she's
been in here like 30-40 minutes, bro.
Well, go ahead, brother T'Challa. I'm sorry, brother.
No, but peace to you, Dr. Maat.
Peace, brother.
My girl actually just handed off to my goddaughter and son the latest episode of Mel Trek today. I was on the road working, so I wasn't here from the beginning, but we're connected on Facebook. I'll definitely be reaching back out to you.
Okay.
But I gave them the first couple of episodes, and they really enjoyed it. So I will be reaching back out with some feedback, positive feedback, and it was a pleasure to have you on the platform, and hopefully we can connect again soon.
Thank you, brother, for that. Appreciate your words, and I appreciate your support. And shout out to the Mossi Warrior Clan, because a lot of those videos that the Mossi pumped out or published about the transatlantic slave trade and the arrival of the Portuguese, we used that material to create Meltrek episode 3. And the Mossi Warrior Clan will be acknowledged in the credit. In the credit, the Mossi will be acknowledged in the credits, and there will be a special shout out to brother Shawn P in the credits.
Okay, no doubt. Sutek, you got anything before we end? I know you spoke earlier, but you got any last words, man, so we can end the show? I don't want you on my head neither.
I appreciate you for coming on, Dr. Maat. We appreciate everything you do, and what you give to the community is highly appreciated over here at Kofi Piesie Research Team. Please continue in your endeavors. We wish you nothing but luck, and we appreciate again you coming on to bless the channel, and hopefully we will see you soon again. That's all right.
Appreciate your words, brother Sutek. Thank you so much, brother.
No problem.
All right. Well, we out of here, family. Peace.
Peace.